The COVID-19 pandemic was an unprecedented event that negatively affected our small business owners, our residents, and our government operations. Fortunately, the city was able to receive federal CARES Act funding passed down through Cobb County to the city in order for us to establish programming for our residents and small business owners, as well as ordering equipment and technology to help city operations.
The city had a great opportunity through the CARES Funding Act to do some additional technology initiatives both for the community and for the city itself. Some of the initiatives that we took on were helping to equip the schools with MiFis and iPads and Chromebooks.
This pandemic has pretty much caused us to have two schools in one. We have to figure out how do we keep our remote students engaged, and we also have to figure out how do we keep our face-to-face students engaged. Because of the pandemic, most of the technology we had internally in the building had to leave the building. So now I'm able to regain some of that. We can be able to still, we'll be able to give it to teachers. They'll still be able to do different experiments and things in their classrooms. This is an on-time donation for us, and it's greatly appreciated, and we'll look to build on it.
Every day we serve our nearly 2,400 students online and face-to-face in our classrooms now. Every day our students log in. They are engaging in classroom discussion and activities there. These devices will allow them to do the work that they need to do, and we're just so grateful for this donation because it's going to help us get laptops in the hands of students who need them.
One of the software tools in particular that we implemented was a health screening assessment that allowed our employees that were coming into the office to still help and provide services to be screened through an app and not have to have the face-to-face interaction with being screened by a person, so taking additional steps to ensure the safety of our staff here and the community as well.
The city received just over $800,000 in CARES Act funding that was used towards programming and equipment expenses.
Some of the things that we purchased were the touchless toilets, the touchless hand dispenser, soap dispensers, the touchless towel dispensers, and these are just some of the things that we were able to purchase with the CARES funding to actually keep the whole city safe. We follow the buildings twice daily to disinfect every building in the city, and this is something that we've actually done to keep all of the city citizens as well as employees safe.
The City of Powder Springs established the Small Business Grant Program in order to offset the negative effects to our local small businesses. The businesses applied for the grant to help out with marketing, rent, utilities, and PPE related to the COVID-19 pandemic. The city was able to help out 48 businesses and nonprofits through the grant program.
We went from January till the first week of July before we had our first event in 2020. And normally we would have had by that time maybe 35 events.
Parents, I don't blame them. Parents were so nervous and concerned. So we had low enrollment because of the COVID. It affected our income, it affected our way of doing business, it affected basically everything.
I'm sure you can imagine when COVID hit, nobody was getting granite in their kitchen, and we were forced to shut down for several months because we were deemed non-essential, and we almost went under, really.
For a small business, to all of a sudden get, a third of the revenue that you're used to, and if that, because even with the parents that kept coming, even now to this day, I mean, a lot of people have negative financial impact.
So we had no revenue, we still had expenses. The well never went completely dry, but it wasn't really until the city granted the grant money that we were able to capitalize on that and basically replenish and get some of our operating money back into our account for survival.
Without the help of the PPP and Powder Springs grant, we received $5,000 from Powder Springs, which was very helpful. We used about 60% of that money for rent, another 15% for utilities, and then the remaining for payroll.
Without it, I think we would have been looking at either hard decisions of do we keep the business open or do we take personal funds to prop the business up.
We were fortunate to get some help and to help us keep going. We have a combination of teachers, semi-retired teachers. We have a bus driver that's a retired teacher, and we have some college students, and they need the part-time income as well. So, help our employees, help the kids, because they need the service. They definitely need it, especially now. And it just helps us stay here and support the city.
He helped me with payroll and PPE products.
My hat's off and my thanks to the City of Powder Springs for, at least in our case, helping out businesses that we can stay in business.
We're so appreciative for the City of Powder Springs.
This grant is a big relief. And now I'm grateful.
The city was also able to partner with the Center for Family Resources to provide housing and utility assistance to our residents. We were able to serve 40 households throughout the city with rent, utilities, and mortgage.
They are facing eviction, they're facing foreclosure, they're in unemployment, they're underemployed, they've lost hours, they're laid off, they've been sick. And so for many of the families that we serve, they're already hanging on a cliff to hang on to their housing and housing stability. And so one hiccup can send them over the edge, and the pandemic is a very large hiccup. We were approached by the City of Powder Springs because we provide financial assistance, and they really wanted to be able to help their residents. So I would say be proud of your city, because they truly care about you and they reached out to us to be able to serve you, and I think that speaks volumes for the City of Powder Springs.